contact our guide for help and evacuate to a safe place.
Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So if you are watching this, you have stepped into the future of, well, just this video is going to be on two different timelines because I'm currently in Bali, Indonesia. But yeah, that content is coming. I just had some content that I really wanted to push out before I jump into my travel content again. So just for timeline purposes. So I'm recording this now because when I was in Korea, I honestly didn't have time to record this. First of all, second of all, I just wasn't feeling well and I didn't feel like being on camera. So I'm recording everything now, and then I'm just gonna chop everything together. So this video is a review of the Vincent Van Gogh musical that I went to on New Year's Eve in Seoul. So I went on New Year's Eve because, yeah, I didn't really feel like partying or anything. I wanted to go to the Crush concert, but the tickets sold out before I got there. But that's also because I procrastinated. It was actually entirely my fault, yeah. But anyway, I wanted to go to the Crush concert, but then the tickets sold out and I didn't feel like going clubbing. So I was like, you know what, I want to have a cultural experience. I'm gonna go to a musical. So I went on to interpark.com, the English version. There's a Korean version and an English version, and I was scoping the musicals and Vincent Van Gogh appealed to me the most. So I was aware that this is a Korean musical because I mean it was like Pangohu. Pangohu. I don't know, Koreans don't say Van Gogh like the way that it's said. Pangohu, I think that's right. I think that's the correct pronunciation. I'm not sure. But yeah, so I went into it to just see kind of like, I thought maybe because it's not a particularly Korean story, they'd be like, I don't know what I was expecting. But when I went into it, they said there would be English subtitles. I was like, oh, okay, cool, so let's do it. You know, there will be English subtitles, so if I don't understand something in Korean, I can always just look at the subtitles and understand what's happening. So I booked the experience and I went to Seoul. It was at the Yes 24 live stage. I might be wrong, but if I am, I'll put it up here. And yeah, going alone was interesting. I think in South Africa, it's not that strange to go to a musical alone. I don't know, I haven't done it, but it's like going to the movies alone, I feel. But in Korea, it was like, I felt very out of place almost being alone. But I actually ended up sitting next to a woman who had come alone, so that was interesting. We didn't speak though. And let me tell you, they lied about there being English subtitles. It was weird because, you know, the instructions before the lights go off about like how to deal with your cell phone and stuff like that, it was in Korean and in English. After that, no more English. So I was like, okay, so they lied. There were no subtitles. Well, there were subtitles, but they weren't in English, they were in Korean. And they weren't consistent throughout the whole thing either. So it's not like I could back up what I didn't understand by reading. Luckily, my Korean understanding was pretty decent, so I was like, okay, I can do this, I'll be fine. So I watched the show and I actually understood like 90% of what was happening. There was just like a word here or there that I didn't understand, but I understood the whole context. And the timelines, they play on multiple timelines of Van Gogh's story, so that was a little bit difficult to navigate in a different language, because then you're like, okay, what's happening now? Is this like attached to that scene or whatever? Even though they use like different lighting cues to like signify a different time, there were moments where I felt like it kind of blended into a timeline, or there was like kind of like a flashback or like a flash forward, like one isolated scene that has nothing to do with the other timelines. But because I don't necessarily understand the entirety of the play, I can't place it. Like, I don't know where it's supposed to go into his story. It just seems like a random scene to me. I feel like that is something that without the language barrier would have been a lot clearer for me personally. But besides that, like all the acting, the songs and stuff, I understood for the most part, so that was fine. And I understood the story and I got the feeling of it. It was actually such a beautiful performance, and it was so emotional, and like I found myself like just really saddened by the whole thing. The music was amazing, just two very talented actors. I mean, overall it was like a really good musical, but yeah, my only issue with it was that it would have been one thing if I intentionally went to a show knowing it's fully in Korean. That's intentional, so it's okay. I'm mentally prepared for that. But to be told that there will be English subtitles and there were not, unless I booked the ticket wrong, unless there's a specific show I was supposed to go to, was just a little bit disappointing. And that like 5% that I didn't understand would have made the difference between this show being already moving and being like next step phenomenal. So yeah, but other than that, it was amazing. The production design, the projections, because they projected like Van Gogh's art onto the stage and onto like different canvases and stuff throughout the show, was just amazing. And I found that really impressive, the time cues for the projections, because they would be like singing a song about like this painting of Van Gogh's, and then it projects onto this exact spot, and then he moves with a canvas and it projects onto that exact canvas. That timing and the cueing was freaking amazing. Pair that with like the visuals, the stunning performances, the emotion, it was just great. But yeah, my head hurt afterwards from trying to understand all that Korean at one time, but it was good. So would I go to another Korean musical? Yes, but this time expecting for the whole thing to be completely in Korean with no English subtitles. I think I'll enjoy it a lot more because it'll be more intentional. But would I recommend you watch the musical? I think it's finished. This review is pretty late, but I actually think I went to one of the last shows. But you know, like, things tend to repeat themselves. So if you wanted to just have a general review of what it's like to go to a musical in Korea, or just that particular musical if it comes up again, or if you're in a different country and there's going to be a musical of a similar kind type of thing, I don't know. Just, yeah, I would recommend actually watching it because it's a beautiful show. Just the musical experience in Korea I think is also pretty cool. And yeah, that's all I have to say about that. So if you like this review, please give my channel, this video, a like, a comment, some subscription would be great. And also press the notification bell next to the subscribe button so that you don't miss any more videos. I'll be posting a lot more reviews, so if you have anything that you would like me to review, be it a movie, a musical, anything like that that's coming out, or something that's already out on Netflix or whatever, then please drop it down below in the comments and I'll be sure to review it and get back to you. Okay, thank you.
지도에 나라를 표시한 점이 있듯 하늘 지도에 수많은 나라가 있고 그 중에는 화가들이 살고 있는 별도 있지. 화가들이 모여 사는 별, 이제 나도 그 별에서 함께 살게 되겠지. 그 도시로 가장 빨리 갈 수 있는 방법은 암, 폐결핵, 아니면 콜레라. 이 모든 게 우릴 실어다주는 교통편이랄까. 그런데 곱게 늙어서 죽게 되면요, 그 별까지 걸어가야 한다네. 그럼 난 가장 빠른 방법을 선택해야겠다. 사랑했던 이들에게 남기고 싶은 말이 있다면 너무 슬퍼하지 마세요. 그림을 그린다는 건 제게 소중한 온전한 기분이
꿈이었으니 내 친구 고객 짧았지만